Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 239 based on novel. So let's start. 10 days are fleeting. During these 10 days, Xiao Yan lived a life of being locked out of the house. Apart from his daily diet, he locked himself in the house and tried hard to explore the seal fighting skills. The difficulty of this seal fighting skill is not small, but Huang Tian pays off, relying on Xiao Yang's own understanding and secretly on demand by the Lord of Soul Eater. Within 10 days, Xiao Yang successfully mastered the first weight of the Soul Eater blood tablet. Having mastered the first level of this spirit-devouring blood tablet, and with the fighting skills in his hands, Xiao Yang at this time has confidence, and if he is faced with a powerhouse in the late stage of the one-star fighting immortal, he has the power to fight. The spirit-devouring blood monument is divided into 3 layers, and each layer actually corresponds to a level. The first level is enough to seal Xiao Yang a powerhouse that is 2 levels stronger than himself. For example, now that he is in the early stage of one-star fighting immortal, the first level of casting the spirit-devouring blood tablet is enough to seal a strong person in the later stage of one-star fighting immortal. As for the second level, it was able to seal Xiao Yang with a powerhouse that surpassed his third level, enough to seal a one-star Dozian consummation. As for the third level of spirit-devouring blood monument, it is enough for Xiao Yang to fight and seal the powerhouse in the early stage of 2-star fighting immortals. This is the terrifying part of the seal fighting technique. However, although it is tyrannical, it also has its drawbacks. If you seal the ordinary strong, you will not be afraid, but if you seal some deep-rooted guys, I am afraid that it will not be easy to succeed, and even if it is successful, its sealing time, I am afraid that it only lasts for a few minutes or even a few seconds, and the sealing time depends on the strength of the enemy. But even so, Xiao Yang was quite satisfied with this seal fighting skill. My lord, the city lord of Dead Wind has something for me to convey to you. Xiao Yang just got up and walked towards the main entrance of the inn, when the inn owner hurried over and said with a smile. Although this innkeeper is not strong, he is only at the level of Do-Di, but his status in this Ghost King city can be said to be quite high, but when facing Xiao Yang, he is still cautious, not for anything else, just because of Deathfong had explained that this Xiao Yang was the nobleman of the Ghost King city. What are you talking about? Xiao Yang asked slightly when he heard the words. The innkeeper was very naive and took care of himself a lot. Xiao Yang smiled. The city lord of Dead Wind came to the inn 3 days ago, but at that time, the adults seemed to be in retreat, so they didn't disturb the adults. The city lord left a message saying that if the lord wakes up, then go to the city lord's mansion. It is said that there is something to look for you. The innkeeper smiled. Yes. Xiao Yang agreed softly, and then headed directly towards the city lord's mansion. Without thinking about the mansion, it seemed that the powerhouse behind the auction of dragon blood crystals had arrived. Speaking of which, Xiao Yang is also looking forward to it. These guys can actually find such a precious thing, plus they have to promise them a condition after taking the ground dragon blood crystal. And the most important thing is that it is a long journey from Ghost King City to Dongju. If Xiao Yang is alone, he will inevitably reveal his identity. If there are these fellows, Xiao Yang will be happy. City Lord's Mansion. Humph. This third-rank Emperor rank pharmacist is too big. We're in a hurry, so he'd better take advantage of such an important juncture to retreat. If he doesn't leave in a short time, could it be that we have to wait for him? In the living room of the City Lord's Mansion, the 4 figures slowly standing tall, 2 of them were Dead Wind and Bai He, but on the opposite side of them, a woman with a good face spoke uprightly on her pretty face. In her words, they all revealed the hate towards Xiao Yang. Xiaoye, don't be rude. We are going to Dongju on this trip, and the ratio of sending you to Dongju is only 1, and we also have our purpose, so this pharmacist will definitely have to wait. The man on the side laughed and scolded, but the voice was different. The middle is still full of love, and it can be seen that the relationship between this man and the young woman is not ordinary. Second uncle, if this guy is closed, how many years will he be closed? Then do we have to wait? The woman seemed slightly dissatisfied, and Liu Mai said horizontally. Hihi, Xiaoye, according to Larofeng, that pharmacist is about the same age as you, and at this age he is a pharmacist who can reach the 3rd-grade emperor rank. I'm afraid his background is not weaker than ours. So these words can only be said in private, and must not be passed on to their ears. After all, the thing we need this time, if there is no support from the soul power of this emperor rank 3rd-grade pharmacist, I am afraid it will just die in vain. At this time, the man did not smile at all, and said solemnly. Whenever he said that thing, a trace of fear appeared on the man's face. Got it, what is fierce? The woman made a face when she heard the words, and then ran out. This girl. Seeing Xiao Yan leave, Deathfang smiled. This girl is used to being pampered since she was a child, and she doesn't know if this is a blessing or a curse. The man also said helplessly, "Brother Yu, I haven't seen you for a few years, your strength seems to be." The next moment, as Yu Xiaoya left, Deathfang noticed that the man's strength seemed to be getting stronger and stronger. This man's name is Yu Ifeng, and he is the vanguard of his family. The so-called vanguard is to eliminate some villains for the family, and even seek the antidote. His strength was already a 2-star fighting immortal a few years ago, but now the strength is stronger than before. Hey, in our line of work, you have been walking on the edge of life and death all year round, so the promotion is naturally much faster. Yu Ifeng said. Brother Yu, what about the rest of you? The next moment, Deathwind asked. This Jade Legacy team is very powerful. In addition, this guy is a genuine 3-star fighting immortal. Most of the squads are 2-star fighting immortals. This also establishes the strength of their precious squad is very strong. When I entered the Ghost King City Tilda, in order not to attract people's attention, I entered it separately, and now I live in your City Lord's mansion. Just wait for the refining pharmacist's retreat to end, and then you can set off. Yu Ifeng said with a smile. If that's the case, then wait. After Deathwind finished speaking, he also had a careful conversation with him, and the three of them chatted and laughed in the living room. Humph. I still don't believe it. How strong can a third-grade alchemist be a mere emperor? Yu Xiaoya had just left the City Lord's mansion, and immediately walked around. However, I have to say that this jade leaflet has a slender figure, and with her snow-white skin that can be broken by a bullet, many people have noticed it while walking in this Ghost King city with mixed eyes. Humph. What are you looking at? This lady is. Yu Xiaoya easily noticed the unfriendly eyes of these people, and immediately said dismissively, but Yu Xiaoya was busy muttering that these passers-by's eyes were restless, but she didn't notice a figure walking in front of him. Aya, how did you walk? The next moment, Yu Xiaoya slammed into a man's arms, and couldn't help but groaned. Yu Xiaoya raised her head and rolled her eyes, but she was shocked by the man in front of her. What caught the eye was a man with deep-colored pupils, with a huge heavy ruler on his back, giving people a sense of heaviness, and what shocked Yu Xiaoya the most was the aura of this man. It made me feel vaguely uneasy. Be careful. Seeing this, the woman directly bumped into his chest, and then he questioned himself fiercely. He couldn't help but raise his voice a few decibels. Yu Xiaoya just didn't notice Xiao Yang because of the passers-by who were staring at her restlessly. Although she was at fault first, she was still a little unhappy after being disciplined by Xiao Yang. Stand up. What kind of character is she, Yu Xiaoya? She is the dignified young lady of the Yu family. How could she be so reprimanded by a strange man? Please let me go. The next moment, Xiao Yang spoke directly regardless of what happened to the woman. However, Xiao Yang was still a little surprised, because this jade leaflet's strength actually reached the late stage of 1-star fighting immortal, and Xiao Yang could vaguely feel a strong fluctuation from her body. Wait for me. Yu Xiaoya blushed when Xiao Yang said so, and it took a long time before she could say a word. After a while, Xiao Yang directly bypassed Yu Xiaoya and headed towards the City Lord's mansion. Yep. This guy is actually going to the City Lord's mansion. It's fun. Yu Xiaoya seemed to have found some way to figure out Xiao Yang, smiled slowly, and instantly drowned in the crowd of people, also heading towards the City Lord's mansion. This guy, why are you following me? And Xiao Yang's huge soul power naturally easily noticed that this jade leaflet was following him, and couldn't help saying. This woman's aura doesn't look like someone from Ghost King City. The Soul Eater said for a while. Oh, not from the Ghost King City? Looking at my age, I should be about the same age, but my strength has actually reached the late stage of 1-star fighting immortal. Could it be? After being said by the master of Soul Eater, Xiao Yang nodded secretly, as if he knew something. In just a few minutes, Xiao Yang came to the main gate of the City Lord's mansion. Above the main entrance, 3 splendid characters of City Lord's mansion slowly stand above the plaque, and there are also groups of patrolling soldiers coming in and out at the door. Sir Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang's figure was naturally known to the City Lord's mansion, so Xiao Yang just appeared at the main entrance, and suddenly a soldier greeted him with a smile. Butler Mu, is the City Lord here? Xiao Yang laughed when he saw that it was Butler Mu. This Butler Mu has a high status in the City Lord's mansion, second only to Bai He and Li Qin, and is also in charge of the City Lord's mansion. Hehe, the City Lord is in the study at the moment. I've been waiting for you for a long time. Butler Mu said with a slow smile. That's the trouble for Butler Mu to lead the way. Xiao Yang also laughed when he heard this. It's a great honor. Butler Mu heard this, and just opened his legs to walk, but was shocked by a coquettish anger. Butler Mu, this guy is trying to molest me, take him down for me. A figure jumped out from behind, and then said angrily to Butler Mu. This. The next moment, Butler Mu, who was originally smiling, looked extremely ugly. Because the woman who spoke up was a powerful person, and this Xiao Yang had reached the level of a third-grade imperial pharmacist at a young age. If there was no background behind it, no one would believe it. This made it difficult for Butler Mu to deal with it. What, Steward Mu, is what I said useless? Seeing Steward Mu staying in place for a while, not knowing what to do, Yu Xiaoye opened her mouth, and there was a hint of impatience in her voice. Forget it, Butler Mu, I'll go in by myself. Xiao Yang glanced at Yu Xiaoye, shook his head slowly, and said to Butler Mu. After speaking, he stepped into the city lord's mansion and walked towards the study. He, I'll send it to your lord. After a short thought, Butler Mu finally decided to stand on Xiao Yang's side. For nothing else, the title of the third-rank emperor-rank pharmacist might scare everything. I'm so that a little housekeeper doesn't listen to me. Looking back, I must let Uncle Feng Feng resign you. Yu Xiaoye hit a wall everywhere today and couldn't help roaring. Butler Mu, who was that arrogant and domineering woman just now? She just left Yu Xiaoye and asked with a smile. That Nizi is from the Yu family, and she is also one of the team responsible for escorting you to Dongju this time. According to the city lord, they are responsible for sending you to Dongju safely, and you only need to solve some soul power issues for them on the way. Butler Mu said with a smile. The Yu family. Xiao Yang muttered when he heard the words. The Yu family is also considered a famous person in the entire Dongju. You can rest assured about their trust and strength. Butler Mu explained. Yes. Xiao Yang nodded lightly. Sir, the city lord is in front. I have something to do, so I will retire first. After a while, Butler Mu brought Xiao Yang to the study, and then left slowly. Who? When Butler Mu left, Xiao Yang immediately walked towards Shufang's high. Come in. A dull voice sounded slowly. Lord City Lord is really in great interest. Xiao Yang heard the words, pushed open the door and entered, and immediately in front of him, Death Feng was holding an ancient yellow sheepskin scroll carefully. Xiao Yang, are you out? After seeing that the person who came was Xiao Yang, he was overjoyed, and even the scroll on his palm was temporarily put down. I adjusted my body's aura a few days ago, and I accidentally closed myself too far. I hope the city master. Xiao laughed. He just wanted to explain, but was interrupted by Death Wind. It's okay. Since you're out of the customs, I'll take you to meet them. They are in a hurry. If there is no accident, they will set off in the afternoon. After the Death Wind said, he directly took Xiao Yang Chaoyu's residence and left. Second uncle. Yu Xiaoye hit the wall everywhere today, and after returning, she couldn't help but spit bitterness towards her second Xiaoye. What's wrong? So unhappy, who bullied you? Yu Ifeng was sitting on the pavilion in the courtyard, smiling. I just went out and met a boy who didn't know how high the sky is. Although I bumped into him, he ignored me indiscriminately. Yu Xiaoye was speechless. Hehe, this is not the Yu family. The third brother asked me to take you out, but also to poke at your arrogant and unreasonable aura. Someone did it for me. I have to thank him well. Yu Ifeng picked up the teacup and drank it. He laughed. Second uncle. That guy is arrogant, and he doesn't even know why he still has a good relationship with the housekeeper. Yu Xiaoye was about to talk a lot, but was interrupted by Yu Legacy. I remember Shu Feng said that the alchemist who was in charge of connecting with the alchemist this time was the butler of the screen. Shouldn't that guy be? Yu Ifeng suddenly remembered something and exclaimed. Hehe, Lord Xiao Yang, here we are, they are right in front. The next moment, Dead Wind took Xiao Yang and slowly appeared in the gate of the courtyard. How can it be? How could a guy like him be a third-grade imperial pharmacist? At this moment, Yu Xiaoye's expression became extremely strange when he saw Xiao Yang, because he never imagined that he would randomly encounter a nasty guy who would be a high-level alchemist who was about to travel with them. Hehe, it's finally here. Yu Ifeng heard the words, got up immediately, and walked over to Xiao Yang and Dead Wind. As for Yu Xiaoye, who was standing on the spot with an incredible face, it took a while before he walked over. Wake up. Sure enough. Xiao Yang had just stepped into the courtyard. After seeing Yu Xiaoye, he knew that his previous guess was correct, so he was not too surprised. Lead through. Brother Yu, let me introduce you. This is the guy who took the ground dragon blood crystal this time. Xiao Yang, this is exactly the guy you need, an alchemist at the peak of the third rank of the emperor. Dead Wind brought Xiao Yang to the gate of the courtyard to meet Yue Feng, so he introduced. It's a blessing to meet Yue Feng. Yue Feng heard the words, stretched out his huge palm, and shook it towards Xiao Yang. Although this guy from the Dead Wind team is highly rated, Jade Legacy naturally wants to try the truth for himself. It's a pleasure to meet. Xiao Yang also stretched out his palm and held Yue Feng together. The next moment, the palms of the two were easily undone, and no one found out that something was wrong, but Xiao Yang's eyes flickered with a hint of doubt. Obviously, after the seemingly simple handshake, this Jade Legacy actually used his soul power to test himself. Although Yue Feng is strong and powerful, at the level of a 3-star fighting immortal, but his soul power is quite weak. This kind of temptation is tantamount to making an axe in front of Xiao Yang. Damn, this guy has such terrifying strength. This strength is probably even stronger than Yu Gan in the early days of the 3-star fighting immortals. Xiao Yang gave Yue Feng a very high evaluation just by shaking hands. This is Jade Relic Wind, the general leader of this team. Death Wind Zaidu introduced. This kid, there should be some secrets on his body, coupled with his keen sense of smell and powerful soul power, he broke my investigation in an instant. It seems that what Death Feng said is not weak. Yue Feng also thought to himself. Captain Yu, let's get down to business now. Xiao Yang said with a smile. Let's go in and talk. Yue Feng glanced at him, and then smiled. Since this guy has initially verified that he has a huge soul power, he is naturally qualified to talk to him calmly. Let's go. As soon as the voice fell, the three of them walked directly towards the wooden house. As for Yu Xiaoye, she was fierce outside, and she didn't know what she was thinking. There is no one here and it is relatively safe. Regarding this mission, as long as the mission secrets are not mixed, you can ask if you have any questions, little brother. The three of Yue Feng entered the wooden house and said immediately. Yue Feng knew that Xiao Yang was about the same age as Xiao Yi, and at such an age he had reached his current strength, so he must have something to rely on. Although they need to use his soul power, they should not be too accustomed to Xiao Yang. Everyone is a strong person with a heart higher than the sky. Captain Jade, to be honest, what I did this time was to go to Dongju from here to participate in the comparison of Dongju. It's a long way from Ghost King City to Dongju, and I just wanted to find some team that recognizes the way to go together. In addition, I took the ground dragon blood crystal, so I think. Xiao Yang said with a smile, and the old fritters like Yue Feng, of course, is also the point to the end. Nature's little brother is so frank, and I said it clearly. Our team has been walking on Dongju all the year round, and we are quite familiar with many routes in Dongju. We can say without hesitation that from this Ghost King City to Dongju, where are there any ferocious spirit beasts or even beasts? It's power, it's all clear. Little brother wants to go to Dongju, and there are inevitably various difficulties along the way, but if you follow us, you can undoubtedly avoid many problems. As for the ground dragon blood crystal, if it wasn't blocked by a certain creature, we wouldn't put it up for auction. That creature's strength is not strong, and we have failed several times in its hands. After a few times, we also understand that that creature seems to be quite afraid of soul power, so when necessary, we want to use our little brother to use soul power to help us get through it. This time the road is dangerous, but I only need the little brother to use his soul power to help me at a critical moment. In return, we will not only give the little brother enough remuneration, but also send the little brother to Dongju safely. Yue Feng said word by word, his words were very sincere. If Xiao Yang was also a fledgling guy, he would definitely be deceived. It seems that this guy is worthy of being an old fox, something that can make Samsung fighting immortal powerhouses fear. I am afraid that not only soul power can handle it. And looking at him like this, he should be hiding something from me. What kind of creature cannot be dealt with by a 3-star fighting immortal powerhouse, but actually needs soul power? Although Xiao Yang said with a smile, he was calculating quickly in his heart. I don't know what level of creatures I need to deal with. Xiao Yang asked tentatively. Don't worry, little brother, that creature is not strong, it's just a little special. With our team here, you'll be fine. Yue Feng seemed to be worried and smiled. A creature that can make the 3-star fighting immortals fear. I am afraid that it is too dangerous for my strength as a starfighting immortal. And for a pharmacist, soul power is comparable to life. Xiao Yang said with a smile. This kid is really cunning. Yue Feng heard the words and smiled slowly, but he was secretly surprised. If it were an ordinary person, Yue Feng would not treat him like this. Don't worry, little brother, this transaction will definitely only win and not lose. More things involve mission secrets. If the little brother believes in us, then you can give it a try. If you don't believe it, then forget it. We're going to have a meeting, and we're going to start non-stop. Yu Yifeng also said slowly. These guys are quite loud. Xiao Yang was about to refuse, but was interrupted by the words of the Soul Eater. Just follow them. There are too many forces in Yinhunshan, and many sites are forbidden places by others. If you invade in chaos, I'm afraid your tilde is enough. And I'm also a little curious, there is something in this ghost world that can make the 3-star fighting immortals so hot. The Lord of Soul Eater said. I promise you. Xiao Yang was naturally not afraid of these red tapes, and promised directly. Then I wish us a happy cooperation in advance. Yu Yifeng heard the words, Zaidu laughed, and his voice was full of profiteers. We're in a hurry. If little brother has nothing else to do, how about leaving now? The next moment, Yu Yifeng said. Right on my mind. Let's go. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, he got up and followed. Xiaoye, call everyone and go. Yu Yifeng heard the words and said directly to the outside of the house. Okay. Although Yu Xiaoye was sick, she still did not dare to be too presumptuous in front of her second uncle, so she agreed to go and call her teammates. After a while, a full 5 figures came to the courtyard. These 5 figures were all wearing black cloaks and capes, covering their bodies tightly. Dead brother, let's go first. After Yu Yifeng finished speaking, he took his teammates and Xiao Yang, and a total of 7 people quietly left the Ghost King city. I'm almost leaving too. Xiao Yang, I hope to meet you at the ratio of Dongju. Brother Yu, I also hope that your mission will be fulfilled. Seeing the 7-member team slowly leaving, Dead Wind sighed. Xiao Yang's group of 7 quietly left the Ghost King city. Dead Wind had already prepared 7 flying beasts for them outside the city. It can be seen that these guys seem to be quite enthusiastic about the destination, and they have been rushing non-stop for a few days. The beast is called Feiying, and it is quite large. 1 head alone is enough for 3 people to sit together. Among them, there are 5 beasts that Xiao Yang and 5 people ride on. On top of the other 2 beasts, there are quite exquisite beasts. The wooden house, like a wooden house on top of a carriage, appeared on the flying beast, with one end holding some supplies needed for the journey, and the other carrying 2 women. This Jade Legacy team has a total of 6 people, 2 women and 4 men. Sister Liu Qing. Yu Xiaoye was sitting quietly in the sedan chair on the back of the beast at this time, hesitant to speak. Yi, what's wrong? I've been restless since I left Ghost King City. The woman who was called Liu Qing by Yu Xiaoye smiled and said. This Liu Qing's figure is much better than that of Yu Xiaoye. The graceful figure, coupled with the 2 peaks that rise and fall on the chest, perfectly outlines the whole body, and the light blue RU skirt all over the body, exudes the breath that came out was all eye-catching. Sister Liu Qing, there seems to be something wrong with the pharmacist that the second uncle hired. Yu Xiaoye shook his head and whispered beside Liu Qing. Not quite right. Liu Qing frowned when he heard this, obviously he didn't notice it. I can't tell you the specifics. In short, there seems to be some familiar aura on him. That aura doesn't seem to be from our Yinhunshan, but it looks a bit like Soul Eater. Yu Xiaoye said hesitantly. Yi, you can't talk nonsense. This guy is about the same age as you. Although his strength is only in the early stage of 1-star fighting immortals, his level as a pharmacist is abnormally high. Liu Qing shook his head and nodded. Father has dealt with some powerhouses in soul-devouring domain. The power that devours all things in them should be correct, but Yu Xiaoye still defended. Li Soul territory and soul-devouring territory are inherently incompatible. If Xiao Yang is really from soul-devouring territory, I am afraid that once his identity is revealed, what awaits him will be the dark pursuit. Maybe you are overthinking it, take a step by step. Even if he is really from the Soul Eater domain, as long as he can help us deal with that creature, then we naturally don't care about the rest. After all, we don't want to interfere in the grievances between Soul Eater and Li Soul, said Liu Qing. Well. After Yu Xiaoye finished speaking, she also smiled slowly, and the 2 women were discussing some little secrets that belonged to them on the sedan chair. Little brother, can you still hold it? In the altitude of several thousand meters, it was bone-chilling. 5 demon beasts slowly moved around the 2 sedan chair demon beasts, and then Yu Yifeng came up to ask Xiao Yang. It doesn't matter. Xiao Yang is naturally not a son, so although this kind of rush is boring, he can still persevere. It's just that Xiao Yang found that in this team, Liu Qing, who was accompanied by Yu Xiaoye, seemed to have a high status. Along the way, Jade Legacy also took care of the 2 women more or less, But Xiao Yang vaguely discovered that even if the strength of this Jade Legacy 3-star fighting immortal is still afraid of Liu Qing, so according to Xiao Yang's vague it seems that this team is only working for Liu Qing. However, this is only Xiao Yang's speculation, and it has not been confirmed. Through these few days on the road, Xiao Yang has also figured out the distribution of the team's personnel. There are a total of 6 people in this team, of which the approved personnel should be 4, and Yu Xiaoye and Liu Qing are probably not real combatants. But even if there were 4 people, these 4 people were quite surprised by Xiao Yang. Among the 4, there are 3 2-star fighting immortals and 1 3-star fighting immortal. Such a huge lineup is enough to sweep most areas. Among the 3 2-star fighting immortals, they are Earth, Water, and Thunder, but what puzzled Xiao Yang is that this Jade Legacy is actually Wind. If a team, or mercenary group, wants to look for treasures all year round, then the Soil attribute is an indispensable role in the entire team. The Earth attribute defensibility is outstanding. If you encounter an extremely powerful but invincible enemy, a powerful Earth attribute fighting skill can buy time for the entire team. In addition, there is another very important point. The strong Earth attribute can listen to the road. The so-called listening to the road means that the Earth attribute powerhouse can guide the team according to the flow and change of the Earth attribute through his own control of the Earth attribute. But this is the core of the team. After all, it is the right way. You can avoid many unnecessary battles and greatly reduce unnecessary troubles. The second is the water element fighting immortal powerhouse. The water element is gentle, although the defense ability is not strong, but it has a certain healing ability, and the team or mercenary group is out of the house, and the pills they carry are used up. The flow of some toxins, even providing a certain amount of vindictive recovery for the team, is also one of the core of the team. In addition to the personnel of the Earth system who are responsible for exploring the path, and the water system responsible for restoring the effect of fighting Qi to stop the venom, just now is the core of the team's battle, that is, the powerful destroyer of violence. As for Yu Yifeng's team, according to Xiao Yang's opinion, there were only 2 combatants, and they were these 2 men. The Earth element is responsible for exploring the path, the water element is responsible for guarding against poison and restoring vindictiveness. Only the 2-star Do Xian with the thunder element and the wind element of Yu Yifeng's own wind element are the core of this team's destruction. Hey, little brother, this is a hurry, but one day, we will go to the next small village, and we can rest there for a day. Yu Yifeng smiled. Hearing this, Xiao Yang nodded lightly, but he was still a little unhappy. This 5-day non-stop rush, and still at an altitude of several thousand meters, was really uncomfortable. Land monkey, go down and check the situation. The next moment, Yu Yi called out to the 3 people in front of him, and a small man immediately appeared in Xiao Yang's line of sight. Delay. The land monkey agreed directly, then jumped over to control the demon beast and walked towards the land. This land monkey is the strong earth element of this team, who is responsible for exploring the way. These guys were covered with black cloaks, and Xiao Yang couldn't find any specific features, so he could only cast his eyes away. The land monkey just got close to the ground, and immediately took off his hat and pressed his ears to the ground, as if listening to something. Although Xiao Yang's group was above the sky at this time, the huge soul power made Xiao Yang see it clearly. Xiao Yang couldn't help but muttered when he saw this. This is the unique listening to the road of their soil type. Yu Yifeng explained slowly. Dong, dong, dong. After a while, the land monkey climbed up directly, and then rode back into the sky in a magical beast, smiling at Yu Yifeng. Captain, our route is correct. Within 20 miles, we will reach that village, said the land monkey. Let's go then. Everyone has worked hard, and when you get to that village, everyone will have a good rest for a day. After Yu Yifeng finished speaking, he slowly urged the beasts to increase the speed. And as this scene happened, Xiao Yang became more and more curious about this team, but he didn't show it, and everyone went towards the village. The Flame Emperor fighting against the Sky God. After about 3 hours, everyone saw a building on a mountain at an altitude of several thousand meters, and they slowly lowered the height of the flying beast. Just land here. These flying beasts are specially trained, let them go back first. Jade Legacy said immediately after arriving on the ground. Yes. Everyone heard the words and jumped off the back of the beast. These flying beasts have been specially trained by others. They can be summoned when needed. If they are not needed, they can be entered into the scroll first. However, this scroll also has a time limit, that is, the flying beast can only be inhabited for 3 days, and it cannot be used for more than 3 days. Okay, let's walk over. Yu Xiaoye slowly put the flying beast into the scroll, and then said. After everyone crossed a small hill, They stood in the distance and saw a small village less than 3 miles away from them. Why are there so many curling smokes in this village? Could it be that they are doing some kind of worship? But we usually pass by here, and we haven't found any customs here. The land monkey couldn't help but said, looking at the smoke rising from the village. Cooking smoke. But Xiao Yan's originally calm expression became vigilant. There is a smell of blood around here. The next moment, Xiao Yan said seriously, "Oh." As Xiao Yan said this, among the 4 people next to him, except for the land monkey, the other 3 all cast a strange look at Xiao Yan. The water element is quite sensitive to smells, so it is not difficult to find it naturally. In addition to the strong strength of the thunder element and the jade legacy, it is normal to discover it, but Xiao Yan actually discovered it in the early stage of 1-star fighting immortal, which made everyone he couldn't help but look at Xiao Yan differently. It seems that this Emperor rank 3rd-grade pharmacist really has some strength. Captain Yu, why didn't you leave? The crowd just stopped for a few minutes, when suddenly, a voice like a silver bell from Liu Qing came from behind. Something happened, but it's okay. Yu Yi said with a smile. It seems that these guys are all working for Liu Qing. As the conversation between Liu Qing and Yu Yifeng fell, Xiao Yan's guess was confirmed to some extent. All vigilance. Let's go. And Yu Yifeng is worthy of being the leader of the team. He still didn't panic when he encountered this kind of thing. He said something slowly, and then walked towards the village. At this time, the village was in a mess, and the fire was slowly burning here. Only some people were running around like crazy, and there seemed to be some mysterious people in the village who were asking questions. What? Say, where is the location of Ice and Fire Island? A man covered in black clothes held a man who had fled in the hand and asked fiercely, "What is Fire and Ice Island?" I don't know. The man who was caught was shocked and extremely uneasy. Before the apprehensive man could finish his words, his throat was cut off by the mysterious man, and all his vitality was lost. My lord, I pressed nearly 1,000 people in this village, and no one knew the location of Icefire Island. After a while, some men in black came to the man just now and said respectfully, "Where's the village elder here?" The mysterious man said coldly, "It seems to have run away." Being taught such a lesson by the mysterious man, the other powerhouses became afraid. "A bunch of trash. Even if you dig 3 feet into the ground, find him for me. He is one of the few people who knows the location of Ice and Fire Island. Do you understand?" the mysterious man said. "Yes, my lord." After hearing the words, many men in black said respectfully, and then dispersed. At the next moment, a faint light suddenly appeared on the bodies of those obliterated figures, and all of them converged on the mysterious man. Those lights even had fluctuations like soul power. My lord, save us." Just as Xiao Yang and his group arrived at the foot of the village, an old man hurried out. The old man looked flustered, and even his clothes were disheveled. Obviously he had experienced something. "Old man, what happened?" The land monkey took the brunt of the matter and stepped forward to ask. Although Yu Yifeng's team had passed through this place, they only passed through it and did not go deep into it, which made them unfamiliar with the people in this village. "My lord, I beg you all to save us." The old man seemed to be crying, and his eyes turned to Yu Yifeng. Obviously, of all the people here, only Yu Yifeng gave the old man a breath from his soul. Deep fear. "What's the matter?" Yu Yifeng also said when he heard the words. "My lord, our deserted village has always had good weather, but a group of mysterious people just arrived, indiscriminately killing people in our village. What kind of deep hatred is this?" The old man said sadly. Obviously, there are not many strong people in their deserted village. Most of them are just ordinary strong people. Even the old man in front of him is only a 4-star fighting emperor. He has no idea why he attracted many strong people to besiege their village. "Have you offended anyone?" Xiao Yang asked. "Who did you offend?" The old man heard this, his eyes slowly moved, and he seemed to stop talking. "Come on, otherwise we won't have time to waste time here." The land monkey was still smiling, and immediately realized that the old man lied to Tilda and cursed. "No. Our deserted village has never been in contact with the outside world. How can we offend others?" The old man pretended to be puzzled. "It seems that this village has a secret." Xiao Yang was also a clever person, and he immediately had an idea in his heart. "Let's go around this village, let's go." Yu Yifeng naturally noticed the scene where the old man's eyes rolled just now, and couldn't help but say, and everyone was ready to go around. You don't go. Wait." Seeing this, the old man hurriedly shouted, but Xiao Yang and his party ignored them and left slowly. I remembered. The person headed by the mysterious people seems to be forcing the location of Icefire Island. Seeing Xiao Yan and the others getting farther and farther away, the old man hurriedly said, "Are you finally willing to speak? Icefire Island, what is that?" Following the old man's words, Xiao Yang laughed at first, then looked puzzled again, and cast his eyes on Yuefeng. "Let's go. Except for their leader, none of them will stay." But when he heard the old man's words, Yuefeng stopped, and then looked at the village not far away. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and his voice was full of sheer chill meaning. Its aura is fierce, and it is extremely terrifying, like a lion preparing to show off its grand plans. This video will end here.